still recovering from that deadly storm, and now, like that sister, Iota is threatening to bring a dangerous storm surge, a rise in seawater levels below the shore, as well as rains that could cause flash flooding, river flooding, and mudslides. Iota is the 30th named storm of the Atlantic hurricane season. That's a record, but it's the only one this year that's reached Category 5 strength. 10-second trivia. What is the origin of ice cream, you scream, we all scream for ice cream? 1920s novelty song, F. Scott Fitzgerald novel, college football cheer, or J.N. Barrie play? What became a popular phrase in American culture started as a lighthearted tune in the 1920s. The origins of ice cream itself are less clear. Historians believe it dates back to medieval China when milk was mixed with other ingredients before being frozen in pools of ice. A form of sorbet had become a popular dessert in Europe by the later 1600s, and Americans dating back to George Washington enjoyed the cool confection. The basic ingredients of cream, milk, and sugar have remained pretty steady through the recent decades, but the way it's been served in shop form continues to evolve in 2020.
Trucks, corner shop freezers, the grocery aisle, places where we're used to grabbing an ice cream. But when the COVID-19 pandemic hit, many people stopped visiting them. That was a problem for the world's largest ice cream brands.
I suppose with an ice cream man, we're a bit messy ourselves. We believe that, people want it, we just got to find a way to get it.
Unilever's answer? Home delivery. Unilever is the corporate home to some of the world's best-known ice cream brands. In Q2, it saw online food and refreshment sales grow 139% over last year's. Unilever says home delivery of ice cream drove that increase during the pandemic.
You can see consumer behaviour evolve from, I need to buy to actually I need to be happy whilst I'm building or surviving at home.
To make deliveries possible, the company partners with local services like Grubhub, Uber Eats, DoorDash, and even Domino's Pizza in several major cities across the globe. By tapping into its existing network of freezers of retailers and restaurants, Unilever claims it can have ice cream on customers' doorsteps in 30 minutes. Unilever first piloted its Ice Cream Now service back in 2016, but it isn't the only company to have tried ice cream on demand. Several ice cream makers, including Baskin-Robbins and Haagen-Dazs, use independent delivery services to get their desserts direct to customers. Haagen-Dazs also trialed its own ice cream delivery app in 2018. Unilever believes the demand for delivery won't go away as the pandemic subsides.
If you become an internet shopper, you stay an internet shopper. That does change the fundamentals of how we work as a business.
But there's one obstacle that's marked ice cream makers since the industry's earliest days. How do you sell the icy delight when it's cold outside? Unilever thought that home delivery and marketing for the living room sofa was the way ahead. But as customers search for their favorite scoops online, it looks like the pandemic could get Unilever closer to the goal it's been working towards for a century: ice cream all year round.
Disney is looking for ways to make their robots at its theme parks more interactive. Unfortunately, critics say one of the robots looks like this. It doesn't have skin, at least at this point, but it does look pretty lifelike in a creepy, unfinished sort of way. It's been programmed along with its realistic eye movements to respond to the people around it. Of course, not all people will want to stay around it. As it stares cyborgs into its frontless second eyes, an unnerving relentlessness around its skeleton that would make humans want to express themselves by expressly moving to more attractive attractions. It's a small world after all. We live on an awesome planet. Why become frozen ever after in an icy stare that makes your pants want to take flight? I'm Carlos, and before we leave, we just need to recognize our viewers at the Royal Air Force Base in Duckwell, England, United Kingdom. Shout out to the Hedgehog. That's all for CNN.
Oh, look at his hands.
Okay, guys, go ahead and get on code HS and look at the, it should have been the last one for 5.9, I believe, concentric circles. We had to draw black and red circles. By following me around. Now you'll find it.
I don't know what he's talking about.
Okay, a little review of that and a little bit of what we're doing today. Up, and I'm going to show you guys how I would solve this problem solving process. But this one, that's a good one for a Monday to get you started. All right, so I'm going to fire here too, so you guys can actually see that has the worst. That screen up there has a terrible resolution. There we go. Okay, you guys can see that. Okay, so let's walk through this problem. And I think this is a good one to talk about. It has something in it that's really important, and it's called a count. And I want to show you guys what's going on with that, how I'm using that to help us make this item. So what we have to make here, okay, if we go to show exercise, we can run a demo. Okay, so let's go ahead and run that demo so people can see. Okay, and it makes kind of a bullseye type target here with red and black circles overlaying each other. Right? And so what we have to do, for this anyway, is we're going to make a while loop that says that while the radius is some sort of value, we're going to make a circle and decrease it by some value each time, okay, until it gets to be so small it wouldn't be on the screen. We've got to use a count variable to count each number of circles that we make, so that we can write a rule for when the circle should be red versus when the circle should be black. And that's a pretty important concept. That's one of the reasons I wanted to do this one with you guys. The idea of using a count variable to store how many times you've done something is very useful in writing rules to say, like, well, on the odd times I do it, I want it to be this way. The even times I want it to be this way. Or you can use it to stop a loop. I've used a count, if the count got to 13, I changed the value of a variable to be bigger than what was being evaluated, so a loop would stop. Okay, there's different ways you can use a count to help you solve problems in computer science, but this is something unique for this problem and why I wanted to go over it. Okay, so let's read the assignment here. Write a program that starts by drawing the largest circle that can fully fit on the canvas, and it says radius equals 200. Continues drawing circles as long as the radius is greater than 0. Each time a circle is drawn, the radius should decrease by 20. The circle color should alternate between red and black. Use a variable to control the radii values. Another variable can be used to control the color of each circle. And then it talks about how they stack the circles on top of one another. But that shouldn't be too bad. You just need to make the biggest one first and then each following one smaller. Okay, so here are the variables that you would need here. So it said that the radius starts out at 200, so I have a variable for that. I have a variable for count here, and I also have a variable for circle that I declared. Now this part is not necessary. You don't necessarily need that right there to be able to do the problem. So, yeah, just leave this right there. Okay, and it said that while the radius was greater than 0, okay? While the radius was greater than 0, gives us that in the problem. Okay. As long